The Cold War could be coming back with a vengeance, and the US's top adversaries are dusting off some old-school Soviet tactics. Russian and Chinese government officials have recently teamed up to publicly accuse the US of creating biological weapons near their borders and suggesting that Americans are responsible for creating COVID-19. Speaking to the Russian daily newspaper Kommersant on Thursday, Nikolai Patrushev, Russia's Security Council secretary, said, "I suggest that you pay attention to the fact that biological laboratories under US control are growing by leaps and bounds all over the world. And, by a strange coincidence, mainly near the Russian and Chinese borders." Patrushev, who formerly served as director of the Russian Federal Security Service, FSB, the main successor organization to the Soviet KGB, added that outbreaks of diseases uncharacteristic of these regions have been recorded in areas adjacent to these alleged biolabs. He then openly accused the US of developing biological weapons in those facilities. Like clockwork, Russian state media echoed and disseminated Patrushev's accusations against the US. But this time, they were accompanied by an official statement from China's Foreign Ministry's spokesman, Lijian Zhao, who tweeted, "The US biomilitary activities are not transparent, safe or justified. In Ukraine alone, the US has set up 16 bio-labs. Why does the US need so many labs all over the world? What activities are carried out in those labs, including the one in Fort Detrick?" Zhao voiced the same accusations during an official press briefing, where he identified Russia as his source on the matter. "I noticed that Russia recently asked the US again about their military and biological activities in Fort Detrick and in Ukraine," said Zhao. Other countries also expressed similar concerns. The unsubstantiated allegations against the US and Ukraine have come at a particularly convenient time for Putin, who has recently intensified Kremlin efforts to absorb the Donbas region. In February of this year, the Russian president ominously promised that the Kremlin will never turn its back on Donbas, no matter what. Margarita Simonyan, editor-in-chief of the Kremlin-funded RT and Sputnik, doubled down on promoting Russia's takeover of eastern Ukraine, with repeated urges for Mother Russia to take Donbas home. By presenting Ukraine as a national security threat to Russia and alleging its involvement in the manufacturing of deadly bioweapons, the Kremlin is able to further justify its increasingly aggressive posture towards its highly coveted neighboring territory. Just as Trump had aided an outbreak of violence against Asian Americans by calling COVID-19 the China virus and spreading unsubstantiated claims that the virus was made in a Wuhan lab, opponents of the US have strived to cultivate that type of hostility against America on a global scale. Both Russia and China stand to benefit from pinning the blame for the pandemic on the US, and if Ukraine can be theoretically implicated too, all the better for the Kremlin.